For basically all of human history, we've been on this quest for a perfect world, a place we call Utopia. But what if we've been looking for it in all the wrong places? Let's dive into that. We all feel it sometimes, right? That pull, that feeling that you just want to get away from the chaos and find a place where things are just better. It's a totally universal feeling, and it's pretty much the engine that drives this whole search for utopia. And that's really the big question we're looking at today. Because it turns out, throughout history, we've had some surprisingly specific ideas, almost like blueprints, for what a perfect world would look like, and exactly where we might find it. Okay, so first things first, what does utopia even mean? Well, the word itself, which comes from Sir Thomas More, is actually this brilliant little pun. See, it means both good place and no place, a perfect world that maybe can't actually be found anywhere on a map. Now, this hunt for the ultimate no place isn't just random. We tend to look for it in three very specific ways. Three traditional blueprints for a perfect world. So let's break them down. So the first blueprint isn't about the future at all. It's actually found in the past. It's this deep-seated idea that perfection isn't something we need to build, but something we once had and lost. It's the dream of a golden age. And you see this idea pop up everywhere in our stories and myths. I mean, think about the Garden of Eden, right? Or the simple, peaceful life in Greek pastoral poems. Heck, even today's nostalgia for a pre-industrial world, it's all about longing for a time we imagined was way less complicated. At its heart, the appeal here isn't just about going back in time, it's about a totally different rhythm of life. A rhythm that's all about the slow, predictable cycles of nature, not the constant demands of technology. And this is the core contrast that really drives that nostalgia, isn't it? We've traded the slow, deliberate pace of the seasons for the frantic, nonstop speed of a notification. And that feeling, that sense of being completely overwhelmed, well, that leads us right into our second big idea for utopia. So if the first utopia is lost in the past, our second one is planted squarely in the future. This is the big science fiction dream, the belief that technology won't just make our lives a little better, but will ultimately perfect them. And the logic here is pretty compelling. Think of it as the Star Trek model. Step 1, we solve fundamental problems, like having abundant free energy. Step 2, we let AI and automation handle all the boring, repetitive work. So what's left for us? A society where humans are finally free to just pursue art, philosophy, and leisure. Sounds pretty good, right? At the heart of this vision is just this incredible optimism. It's the belief that all of our current problems, poverty, war, boring jobs, are really just temporary growing pains that progress and technology are absolutely going to solve for us. But what if utopia isn't a place at all? Not in the past, and not in the future. And that brings us to our third and maybe the most profound blueprint, the idea that the real good place isn't out there somewhere, but right in here. This really gets to the core of it. This idea completely reframes the entire quest. The goal is no longer about finding a perfect external world, but about cultivating a stable, calm internal state, no matter what's going on around you. And this isn't some new age idea either. It has really deep roots in philosophies like Stoicism, which basically teaches us to separate what we can control from what we can't. And you see it echoed in ancient practices like the I Ching. It's all about building an internal sanctuary, a place of peace you can retreat to even when the world outside is a total mess. So let's do a quick recap. We've got our three big blueprints. There's the Golden Age, which looks to the past for simplicity. We have the technocratic dream, looking to the future for total automation. And then we have the mind, which looks inward for a state of equanimity. Three totally different maps to a perfect state of being. But just as we've laid out these three paths to perfection, the source material throws us a really fascinating curveball. It forces us to ask a tough question about the very nature of perfection itself. And here's the twist. Just imagine for a second that we actually achieved one of these utopias. A world with no problems to solve, no challenges to overcome. Would we actually be happy? Or do we, as humans, kind of need a little bit of struggle and imperfection just to feel like we have a purpose? And that's really the final thought to chew on. Maybe the true value of utopia isn't in finally reaching it, but in the pursuit of it. I mean, at the end of the day, would a perfect world, completely free of friction, actually be satisfying? Or would it be the most boring place you could possibly imagine? What do you think?